ever since the White Sox scandal back in like 1930 or 40, that was the first time sports gambling was like corrupt, because the White Sox player literally blew it because of money. And it wasn't like $100 million, it was more like a couple of $1,000, and that was a lot back then. And that was the last time it was big. Now, what just happened is something that, you know, we haven't seen since 1979. This is a wake-up call. Yes, some of you be like, well, we haven't heard this in over 40 years, but you don't know how many times, you know, this has happened. We had umpires involved, referees involved, players involved, maybe even GMs involved. They had all this proof. They showed on all the news, everything. And one person lost $1.8 million in one day. Yeah, well, one night, I want to say. You go to a casino. They go to Atlantic City. And you have to put your house, your car, everything on sale in order to win everything back. They don't care. Like, alright, come. When you have no money, they kick you out. And when the casino do get the money, it goes up to not only the Senate, but there's all these other parts of the government. And then it goes out to, you know, other wealthy people. And the wealthy people get the money. And what do? They don't help. They don't help the society. They make the rich richer and the poor poorer. Now, for the Mafia, it's a little bit different. Then the government comes in, sees all this stuff, and then they're like, oh, wait, we can make money too? And then you throw away the Mafia guys all because they gamble a few thousand or a few $1 million. And now you see all these casinos and stuff, and the government takes the money, and the government doesn't even help the people.
Boom. So yeah.
I can't trust no switching roadie. I be on my grown thing. Keep on moving, time be skipping, phone and going home. Same process, trust the progress. I be knowing where it's home. Man, free me, feel me, see me, I see. So yeah.
So yeah, we got Marc. What's good, man?
What's up, man?
How you feeling, bro?
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah, chilling.
Yeah, in the fucking regular life of things and handling crazy shit every day, right?
Yeah, every day.
But then think about it, man. Like, even with everything that's going on, today, guys, we're gonna dive into the world of the NBA. And I know you're a true fan, not only of NBA, but of baseball, football. You're a sports fan, fanatic in general.
Yeah.
So I feel like you're perfect to speak to about this particular topic. The first question I want to ask you is, you as a fan, right? How do you feel about today's climate in regards to the betting that's being taken place in the NBA? Do you feel like this is becoming more scripted on some like WWE type of shit rather than it being the actual true sport of what it is?
Yeah, automatically, because I've been seeing so many times, like a week or two ago, the Chiefs threw the football to one of the tight ends. You see on the video, automatically it touched the ground, and they called it completion. When the football touches the ground, it's automatically incomplete pass. And you can tell there's so many, like it's just so many games, so many, like, World Series, Super Bowl the last couple of years. It's just been very, very, it's not legit. A lot of times I've watched sports throughout the years. It's like, it just doesn't seem like some other team or some other player is trying, not only the teams, but also the referee. You can tell some of these calls of like, what? Your grandmother can call this. She doesn't watch no sports. And it's just, it doesn't line up well. It's sketchy. Like, it's very, you know, there's something going on behind closed doors, but the NBA, the NFL, you can tell they're hiding something behind some of this. And, yeah.
So when you hear Mafia ties, does your brain go like conspiracy, or does it make you wonder, like, is this really going on?
It honestly, it's really going on.
Yeah.
Mafia's always been around for years. Yes, the last 20, 30 years, Mafia's been pretty dead, because ever since after John Gotti, it's just been very quiet, low key. But they were playing it smart, because before in the past they were honestly like doing more like racketeering and being more violent and all this other stuff then start to realize, all right, we can't do that. We have to be more of a white collar crime, which is, gambling and all. So, yeah.
Do you feel like, all right, now that everything's so accessible in terms of the gambling apps and everything, it makes it more of something to want to be controlled by these people, especially because there's more to gain?
What do you mean?
Well, there's so many more people gambling now. So if people can control the way that it's going to be winning,
yeah, I mean,
you have a better odd.
Yeah, but it all depends on like who you're connected to, how much money you put down. It's a lot that plays into it when it comes to gambling. You can gamble on your phone. You can gamble in person at a casino. You can, gamble with the Mafia.
How much responsibility do you think that the NBA has to keep the integrity of the sport? Because there's only so much that they can do, right?
Yeah, I mean, they have responsibility, but it's like they can't do everything.
Yeah.
Because the team, the players, are the ones making their choices. So like the NBA can't be like, hey, the players be like, all right, and like, what are you gonna do about it? The only thing the NBA can do is that if you do something bad, then they can definitely, control your destiny.
Do you think that this might be just the beginning to many more other unveilings within the sport? And do you think that may cause a shift in not only how we view the sport, but how we even view gambling?
Yeah, a lot more. Because ever since the White Sox scandal back in like 1930 or 40, that was the first time sports gambling was like corrupt, because the White Sox player literally blew it because of money. And it wasn't like $100 million. It was more like a couple of $1,000. And that was a lot back then. And that was the last time it was big. Now, what just happened is something that, we haven't seen since 1979, which is the Boston College, scandal.
What happened then?
I don't know a whole lot about it, but I heard that I think the Mafia were paying off some of the players to mess up some of the spread of how many points or how many rebounds and the score and all, and it became a huge headline. Yeah.
How are people expecting to even monetize in this day and age when everything's being so fixed?
I mean, like how people able to trust.
Yeah.
You can't. You really can't. Because you may look at a press conference and be like, oh, he seemed like he's saying the truth. But he can be such a good actor, and he honestly might be like lying right to your face, but you don't even realize.
Does this make you want to continue to be a fan? Or how does this make you view sports? Because you're a diehard, bro. You're a diehard when it comes to sports. So, like, when it comes to this, like, how does it make you want to even continue watching or supporting?
Because I don't think every single person wants to do that. I don't think every single person. I love the sport. I've been watching since I was like 5 or 4 years old, and there's people that are playing the game that love the sport. They won't want to bet.
Yeah.
And you can tell they're genuinely like love it. So like you can't just think, oh, one player, one coach is gonna do.
It's generalizing.
Yeah. So I'm still gonna be a fan of it. It's just those people are making it bad for the other people that are trying to do the right thing.
Who are some of your all-time favorite players of all time? NBA.
Top 3, top 5.
Yeah, top 5.
Top 5.
Why?
Okay. Carmelo Anthony. The New York Knicks, Denver Nuggets. Dwight Howard played for many teams, but I remember him the most, the Orlando Magic. As for the other 3, I'm going to say, man. I'm trying to think of growing up being a big fan. Which player? Dwayne Wade, Miami Heat. I like Michael Jordan. I really do think he is the GOAT compared to LeBron. I truly think he is. Yeah.
How come?
Because Michael Jordan had a versus teams who played hardcore defense. On top of that, he wasn't bouncing on around teams to help players. Hey, come play with me. He only got Dennis Rodman and Scottie Pippen.
Only.
Huh?
Only.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't do as much as what LeBron had. He had Anthony Davis, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love. And these are guys that are like a little better than Dennis Rodman, a little bit better than Scottie Pippen. But MJ never lost the NBA Finals. LeBron did. I would say LeBron is much more skilled player of all time. He can do any position, and he's good. MJ doesn't, but MJ overall had a better career than LeBron. But yeah, and then a last player I would say I liked was, dang, what player was it? I'm more of a football head, so I'm trying to remember basketball. This is gonna be interesting. Iman Shumpert, random player. The reason why as a kid, when I was watching him on the Knicks, I just love the energy, the hustle, the defense, and just the swagger he brought before he got injured, before his career went downhill. But yeah, he's my fifth player I like.
And do you think that, let's say, if any of these star players were to be involved in any type of betting, would it go under the rug, or do you think it would have easily been brought into light?
Oh, okay, that's interesting, because if you have noticed that Terry Rozier was one of the guys who got caught last year, the NBA found out that he was somewhat doing something kind of sketchy, because he told a couple of his friends, or one of his friends, that he's going to go under a certain amount of points and rebounds, and he ended up taking himself out of the game. And that caused not only his friend, but many other people winning like over $100,000-$200,000 because of that. So if like the NBA maybe knew about it, but they didn't want to make a big thing, like, or just him, why? We're not sure, but who knows? Who really knows if they actually knew about it or not? So I don't know if it's Carmelo Anthony or, Dwayne Wade, if something happened to them and they did this. Maybe, but they're much more high profile than Terry Rozier. So can't really give you an answer on that, because we don't know what the NBA commissioner and all think. They may think, nah, they're very well known, we want to ruin our league
reputation.
Yeah, or maybe they'll do it to get, I don't know.
Some advancement.
Yeah.
Well, this is definitely questioning the integrity of the sport. And also how people would be involved. I feel like sports is so much more than just entertainment, right?
It's a lot more betting now.
Yeah, it's it's like people's livelihoods.
Yeah, because that's the thing about betting back then. I don't remember as a kid. I never really remember people betting as hard as they bet now. Like, I think the whole online betting thing was coming into play maybe in like 2010, 15, maybe 15 much more when it blasted off. But yeah.
Do you think fans in general care more about fairness or just the entertainment of it all?
Yeah. So they want you to play fair and square.
They do care, you're saying?
Yeah. Because there's so many times I've seen it, I'm like, huh? I'd rather you play fair than just be entertained. Because, well, if you play fair, what if it actually is entertaining?
No, it definitely is. It's a fact. You got something calling you. All right, ready? So, despite everything that's going on right now in the NBA, what makes you just still a true fan of it all?
I mean, like,
true fan of the sport.
Just as a kid. As a kid, I my dad got me into it. I started going to my first mesh game at Shea Stadium back in like 2000, maybe like 1999 or 98. And then he got me going to the Jets game later on. And I just love, you know, it's a guy sport. When guys want to beat the crap out of each other, it gets the adrenaline and the competitiveness in. And I've always loved playing a sport because I'm gonna beat the crap out of someone sometimes. So it's like it's very entertaining.
So it didn't matter what sport it was, for the most part.
Well, I'm very more into football and basketball than any other sport. Baseball, I'll be a fan of, but playing wise, more football and basketball though.
What moments reminds you of the first time you fell in love with basketball?
Honestly, I didn't fall in love with basketball first. It was actually football.
Yeah.
Football wise, I would say when I first started watching when I was like 7 years old, 6 years old, and I was watching LaDainian Tomlinson. He used to play for the San Diego Chargers. Now it's the LA Chargers, and it's just how he moved on the field, how he ran over people, how quick he was, and just by how entertaining it was to watch, I started to fall in love with sport. Now, for basketball, you're gonna think this is pretty funny because at the time I thought the New Jersey Nets were in New York. Cause I randomly watched it randomly. I was like, "Oh, Nets, they in New York," and I realized that they were in New Jersey. I'm like, "Wait, I'm not supporting them. I live in New York."
Mm-hmm.
Then I started watching the Knicks, and I started liking basketball. I was like, "All right, I'm a Knicks fan. Nate Robinson, Jamal Crawford, David Lee." I'm like, "All right, like this." And then when Amari Stoudemire came onto the team, and then Carmelo Anthony came, that's when I fell in love because I'm like, all right, that's what I'm talking about.
But what about the why?
We don't suck, but we ended up stinking. So I mean, not stink, but we did good, but we didn't win a chip at all. But we made the playoffs a couple of times. So.
That's funny. Yeah. Well, what do you think the NBA could do now to rebuild the trust?
Honestly though, either I have an idea though, but I highly doubt the NBA is gonna do this much, and it's gonna take a lot of the NBA to do this. Is that they should keep track of every single player's, I wouldn't say like debit card, but like maybe like iPhone chip, and they should have a little green light of hey, you're downloading FanDuel or you're downloading DraftKings, and then send a notification to the league. They're like, hey, hold up, and it gives them a warning like, don't do this, like right then and there, or send a message to the player's phone, be like, hey, you cannot go on the phone, but you have to work with not only the gambling company, but also Apple or Android or whatever. That would be my idea. It might be a little bit too personal, too much of I'm gonna control your life type of thing.
Yeah, do you think it's fair?
But that's the only way I can think. Because how can you know they're gonna use it? Or how that's the only thing I could think of they're actually gonna bet. Why? Like on their phone. But as for telling people, there's no way you can really do anything. There's no way.
How about referee accountability?
Well, there's one referee. I think it was a little while ago, maybe like 2000, 2010 era. A referee, last name is Donaghy, I think his name is. He got in trouble because he was calling a lot of fouls that wasn't fouls and all this other stuff, and he ended up serving prison time, and he ended up being banned from the NBA. So ref wise, I think the ref it's a little bit more tricky in a way because they're not as high profile as the NBA players or NFL players. So it's like I'm not really sure how that would be handled though.
Do you think it's important for players to speak up if they are witnessing something like this going on in their team?
Not in the public, no.
But in the team?
on the team. If you do it in public, it makes you look bad.
It makes
the team look bad. It makes the league look bad.
Right.
I would say privately tell them, hey, yo, don't do this. And then if you say, oh, we're still gonna do it, nobody's gonna know. No, don't do this. And if you're still gonna do it, talk to the coach, talk to the GM, talk to the owner, and then they'll take it going forward, because that's the best way for not only you doing the right thing, but it's also protecting the team's back. The team, the owner, and the league, and the GM, and the coach will see that you're trying to protect their reputation, which they'll respect you even more after that.
If you could sit down with Adam Silver and give him one piece of advice that can change the course for the NBA, what would it be?
Like gambling? Gambling wise, or just in general?
With this.
Focus on that first. Focus on gambling right now and put your whole heart and soul into this. Because don't worry about overseas basketball and all this other stuff. Gambling is the biggest concern right now. Because if you do not fix this, it can not only ruin the NBA as a whole, and also ruin your reputation, but as well as ruin other sports around the world, because they're going to think, oh, if NBA players do this, right, what about NFL? What about NHL? What about maybe even tennis?
How do we know if it's already happening?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, but this is much more of a target for Adam Silver and the NBA as a whole, because if Adam Silver can crack down on this, then I think other, commissioners and other leagues will see that, okay, this Adam Silver does, let's do how he did it. Crack that down on, and then every other league will be safe. Because this is your number one priority. This is like say the Apple. iPhone is pretty much the number one. And say the Apple phone is messed up and it has some weird, it's wilding out. You gotta fix that first. Because yeah, you have a laptop, yeah, you have a desktop, but that's not your number one seller.
Right.
If you don't fix the iPhone and they're gone, who's gonna buy the laptop? Who's gonna buy the desktop? So you gotta fix the most important piece, which is the gambling.
Right.
Because if they don't fix that, nobody's gonna want to watch it. Nobody's gonna attend to any game. Nobody's gonna buy any jerseys, and they're gonna look at players like, yo, you ain't playing that you love the game. You just want the money. So that's what tell them, focus that right now. Right now.
I mean, most people just want the money, right? Look at the Javonte Davis.
But if you're making millions,
it's not enough.
You're making millions, you don't need to do none of that.
Right.
Unless you're seriously, you're screwed. Then I can kind of see it, but even that, learn how you use your money wisely. Yeah.
So, I have this part in the podcast where I ask the individual, can I get a question that I could bring out into society and go ask that question?
Yeah.
What would that be?
Good one. If you can stop a close friend or family from gambling, how would you do it?
So if you had a close friend or family member that had a gambling addiction, what would you do?
I think I'd put them in therapy just because they need professional help that I can't provide.
That's solid. That's only what we can do, right? But we can only do so much.
How would you?
I'll take their phone and I'll delete the app.
Just straight up.
And then, hell yeah. And then if they start crying, I want to gamble. No. Then they try and download the app again. I'm taking their credit card. I'm gonna go to the bank and pretend, yo, I'm so and so. I want to delete my card. And I'll have everything in cash. Take the cash in a suitcase or whatever. Bring it home. He could be like, yo, I have to buy money. And then I'll have it at his crib. And I'll be like, yo, I told you. And maybe it would help if he's really addicted to gambling. That's what I would do. If I truly care, I'll do that. I'll have his money. I'm not going to screw him.
Right.
But I'm going to do whatever I can to not let him touch any money.
Okay. That's good. How you feel in regards to the NBA, the sport, the future? Are you still hopeful? Can you look at the camera and just let the people know your honest opinion?
As a fan, not only NBA, but in general, every sport, this is a wake-up call. Yes, some of you be like, well, we haven't heard this in over 40 years, but you don't know how many times, this has happened. We had umpires involved, referees involved, players involved, maybe even GMs involved. And this needs to be a big thing in the sports world. That if none of these, professional sports teams wake up and they look at gambling, they look at if players been gambling or whoever else, it'll be a lot on their hand later on. And all of us love the sport. We want everyone to play fair and square. So I just hope every single league, team, everyone works together and changes the whole gambling aspect. I'm not expecting you to delete gambling forever. There's going to be people who want to gamble in sports. But have a restriction on all the players, everyone involved in all these leagues, so that people can still gamble in sports, but don't too much. But if this won't ever work, I would say just delete gambling as a whole for sports. That'll be my best guess. Delete gambling on sports forever. Yeah.
Let's break down how this all began, man. Like, what opened the door to all this even showing up in our feed?
So, what I've done my research on was that there was an informant who, if you guys know what a foreman, if I said it correctly, is a person who snitched or ratted out on someone in order to tell the FBI or the government more information about what's going on. So pretty much someone that knew someone else told who was involved in this whole sports gambling operation. And that's when they mentioned Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, and Damian Jones. Terry Rozier is a NBA player, guard for the Miami Heat. Chauncey Billups is a former NBA player, Hall of Famer. Now he is a head coach for the Portland Trail Blazers. And Damian Jones is a former NBA player, guard, who used to play for a couple of teams, and now he's assistant coach for the LA Lakers. So, like I said, someone told someone about everyone involved, over 30 people. Some of them were former players, former coaches. Some of them were just people that were just really well connected to not only other professional athletes and all, but also organized crime. And this is pretty much all connected to the 4 Mafia families. There are 5 Mafia families in New York, but the 4 that were involved were the Bonanno, the Lucchese, the Genovese, and the Lucchese's? Well, I think maybe it's Lucchese. Well, one of the 4 families out of the 5. And so pretty much when in the news they were saying that Terry Rozier wasn't really involved with the Mafia, but they're thinking he is. What happened to him was that it was a couple of times the last 2 years he told a close friend that he was, hey, I'm gonna go under this many points, this many rebounds, this many assists, bet under. And what made everyone, be like, what the, was when on, I forgot which date, which time, but I know that he versed the New Orleans Pelicans as he was on the Charlotte Hornets in 2023. And he ended up having 5 points, 4 rebounds, like 3 assists. And it's only the first quarter. And he left after 9 minutes, which is 4 quarters in a game. So he left, the first 9 minutes, and he went home due to injury. And there was never any report about him being injured, nothing. And you're supposed to report it back on your depth chart. If you don't, it's not good. Gonna raise a red flag to the league, and that
he did it.
And no, I don't know what happened. Maybe he just snuck out. Nobody knew. I don't know. And then he went home, and then that raised the red flags to the league. I think like a year later. I don't know how. And then he ended up being in trouble with the league. He was out for like a couple of months due to this. And then the league ended up just saying, we have no evidence. We can't really tell if you really did it or not. But we're not sure if the league really knew about it. They didn't want to make a big thing or not. We don't know. It just doesn't seem right. It doesn't. And there's been video proof of him passing the ball ridiculously, trying to shoot the shot like he never played before. And I'm like, dude, what? And he's a good player. It's not like he's some scrub. So, yeah, he's one player. And then Chauncey Billups used to play for the Detroit Pistons back in the early 2000s. And now he's the head coach for the Portland Trailblazers. We're not sure if he was involved with the whole scandal of the game. Maybe he gave some people some tips, but there's really not a lot of whole information about him telling people about the games. But maybe there was. But his main thing was that he was working with the Mafia straight up. And he would go to these secret spots, either at delis or at restaurants. And it was maybe after hours. And what the Mafia would do, or maybe with Chauncey, if someone in the Mafia would tell people that are rich or who are just, want to get away from home, hey, come over here. We want to, introduce you Chauncey Billups. You want to bet, win some money, and people that are that gullible will go, and they would bring like not 1,000, 5,000, but like a few $100,000, sometimes $1 million, to bet. And what Chauncey Billups would do is it would be 5 people in a room. It would be the person that they're trying to target, and then 4 other people involved. Chauncey Billups and 3 other people that are connected to the mob, or even in the mob. And all 4 of them are going after this dude for his money. So they would have all these different type of schemes that they can do. They wear glasses, contacts, to know what card he has. They will also have like on the table they would have like see-through on the bottom from a phone, so a guy upstairs will see that what card he has through the phone. And then they have this machine they call it the quarterback, which is pretty much it's within the table. They put the card in it, they press the button, it kind of shuffles it. It's supposed to shuffle like correctly. But what they did their little fix up to scam it to make it pretty much impossible for the person to win the game.
Wow.
Yeah, so they had all that on deck. They had all this proof. They showed all the news, everything. And one person lost $1.8 million in one day.
Wow.
Yeah, well, one night, you want to say. And then so he had that, and then Damian Jones was also involved with the Chauncey Billups one as well. Somewhat, but it sounds like he's a little bit more involved with the whole, this is what's going to happen tonight. And one big one that came out was when Damian Jones mentioned about number 3 on the team, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. For shooting point guard, number 1, shooting guard, number 2, small forward, number 3, power forward, number 4, center, number 5. Number 3 for the play for the Lakers is LeBron James. And he said that he didn't say LeBron James, but he said number 3 is going to be out to a friend. And there was proof from text messages.
What?
Yeah. So then they told, hey, number 3 is going to be out. Put everything you got on tonight's game. The Bucks are going to beat the Lakers. A person did it, and he won like over $300,000, something like that. Yeah. So he was involved with the mob too. So all 3 of these high-profile players are involved, but we're not sure right now if there's any other more high-profile players or figures in general, or even Mafia guys that are involved. Now, those are the 3 high-profile people that were involved. The Mafia guys, you have a couple of the well-known ones right now. I can't pronounce their names. I forgot their names, but you know it's Italian. But the boss, the underboss, and a bunch of the soldiers are involved. The boss is never supposed to be involved in this and should never be in the news. He's supposed to be chilling in the back, not taking no hits, especially the underboss. He's not supposed to get none of that. The soldiers and the ones up above the soldiers, or maybe the under the soldiers, are the ones that will get hit the most when it comes to the feds, because they're doing the dirty work. And this is really rare for the boss to be involved in this type of stuff, because they're the one in the darkness. So you can tell the Mafia has changed a whole lot, and they are not playing smart right now when it comes to the higher up people, because in the old days the Mafias would be low-key, quiet, and they would just let everyone do the dirty work.
Do you think that it's because everyone's kind of desperate right now for money?
No way. The Mafia makes a lot of money.
Yeah, you think so?
Come on.
You think so?
They make a lot of money.
He said, come on.
They make a lot. I'll get if you're a little mom and pop shop and you're like, all right, I'm desperate. But you're the Mafia, the Banana, the Lucchese, the Genevieve, like, come on.
Yeah, but that's like some old, I think that's like some old school shit now too, right? It's not that it's like a lot of old money.
Yeah, I mean, this is the
They're trying to make some new money, it sounds like.
Yeah, but I just don't get why the boss did this. You're never ever supposed to show. It just doesn't make any sense. Why would you put your name out there?
Put your name in the spotlight?
Yeah, you're not supposed to. Every single boss, and I know back then it's different than now, but back in the day, they had bosses that were just very, very good at keeping everything low key. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know, but they know what's up.
But they know what's up.
Yeah.
So, do you think the change up in the Mafia now might be like changing the way motherfuckers are controlling it, like, or the future of it? Like, what do you think that could?
The Mafia is never ever gonna change. They're never ever. It's like whack-a-mole. You take one whack-a-mole out, and no one pops up. And that's the thing. When the 1990s, when John Gotti was gone, they closed the books. Closing the books means that when you recruit guys to the life, and they do all these rules and all this stuff in order to get made into the family. And in the 1990s all the way to the 2010s, they closed it for a long period of time, but they maybe did recruit, but it was very, very, very low key. So
because like Mafia, you said, once you want whack one, another one.
Yeah, so the Mafia is always gonna keep going. They're gonna still do this. They're still gonna do this because guys, there's guys in the Mafia. We love sports.
We love gambling.
Yeah, they love gambling. So you're always gonna see this. They might take a little mini break, maybe a year or two hiatus, and then come back. So they're still gonna keep doing this stuff. They don't care. They don't care.
So why should we?
Why should we care if the Mafia does? I don't care. Okay, and
yeah, but then
it don't bother me.
You do, yeah, it does bother you because it affects these players and it affects how you look at the sport.
I'd rather get the Mafia get the money than the government.
You're bugging, bro.
No, you want to know this?
Talk to me.
You want to know this?
Your shit. Go ahead.
Let me explain this. So the other day, I was watching the video, and I was watching the whole NBA gambling stuff, and I was like, this is very interesting. I didn't know this. The government literally gets the money from the gambling. And the Mafia, at least, they give a crap about you some way or how. Yes, it may not sound like it, but they honestly will give a crap.
They don't give a fuck about their own.
Let me explain. So, you go to a casino. Say you go to Atlantic City, and you have to put your house, your car, everything on sale in order to win everything back. They don't care. Like, all right, come. When you have no money, they kick you out. And when the casino do get the money, it goes up to not only the Senate, but all these other parts of the government, and then it goes out to other wealthy people, and the wealthy people get the money. And what do? They don't help. They don't help the society. They make The rich richer and the poor poorer. Now, for the mafia, it's a little bit different. You go there, you tell them, hey, I got to put my house, my car on sale, everything. The guy would be like, no. Your family comes first, no, and that's it. And they'll cut it off for you. They'll completely be like, yo, we're not going to do this for you. You need to stop. And they'll just tell everyone else, do not, let him gamble with his money. Tell him to go away. And they would genuinely give a crap.
That's what you're saying.
And then on top of that, they get the money. And yeah, we give it some people here and there. But that's what happens when it comes to trying to keep this thing all rolling. You got to pay the Senate, you got to pay the mayor, all this other stuff. But many people, not the high up people. And they will care for the people. They will help the people out. They will give the money to some person here, some person there.
I think the same way how let's say Trump will help certain people out. You know what I mean? Like in reality, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, people want to help their own. And I think in reality, it's hard, right? Because you go through society and you see how people are and you see how shit can be, and it's just oh well, what the fuck? Well, maybe I should just be on my own and just ride with people that are just with my clique and all that shit. But I think that's just so stupid. Because lacking humanity, is lacking understanding, is lacking way more growth. You know what I mean? Because as you know, it takes time, as everyone knows, really, if they're watching and if you're listening, it takes time to grow, right? It takes time to understand lessons. Sometimes you'll go through certain lessons again and again until you've learned it, So are we supposed to just turn our backs away from the people that haven't learned certain lessons? Or do we keep going through society? Don't get me wrong, I stay clear from energies that are not for me and not really working with me. Because fuck that. But I'm also not in control of society and politics or anything like that. At the end of the day, people are still gonna need help. You know what I mean? People are still gonna need service from the government. And how we move forward is so dependent on how we view things. So it's it's important, bro. I think that if it comes down to it, the realities of the world makes things difficult for people to want to come together. Because at the end of the day, there's people out there with bigger weapons and bigger guns, and we got bigger guns and bigger weapons and all this other shit that keeps on going.
Yeah, I agree on that. I mean, I just find it crazy that I know I'm very into the Mafia stuff. I love the movie. I love Casino. I love Goodfellas. But I just don't get the fact that the Mafia can't gamble. And they were the first one gambling. Straight up. If you look up on Google and stuff, they're the first one who actually got into the whole gambling thing. Then the government comes in, sees all this stuff, and then they're like, oh, wait, we can make money too?
Right.
And then you throw away the Mafia guys all because they gamble a few thousand or a few $1 million. And now you see all these casinos and stuff, and the government takes the money, and the government doesn't even help the people.
You're right.
And it's ridiculous. I'd rather Mafia guys to help us. They care more about us than the government.
That's what it makes it seem, but it's not the case. I think that you're right, though, in reality, because if the government is going to flip it and make money for their own and not put it in places that it should, it is crazy that,
the government is more corrupt than the mob. 100 million%. Way more corrupt. Oh my God.
I think it's not managed well.
But it's corrupt. More corrupt. You gotta say that.
I think a lot of things could be corrupt if you're gonna look deep into it. But I think also, if you're corrupt through the environment that it's been placed in, then yeah, sure. Because it's also look at what's going around in the environment. How are you supposed to survive? How are you supposed to keep going? I'm not justifying people's actions to do whatever they want in their life. I make different decisions in my own life. You know what I mean? But the thing is that people are gonna make those decisions regardless. So it's dependent on what side of the fence, if you say you want to be on. And some people are just advantageous for their own, and then some people genuinely want to be advantageous for the people. But another conflict behind that is would those same people have the same effort that the people that are fighting for the people have for them? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like it's also, but I think that like whether you, I don't know, because you have your own opinions about Mamdani, but I feel like Mamdani has somewhat brought more attention into state politics, whether people are for him or against him. Because at the end of the day, people, I don't know, I haven't seen people disengaged in the mayoral race than before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I think the last time it was like this was maybe over 20 years, something like that, like around the 9/11.
Well, we were too young to even recall.
Yeah, that'll be the last time it was serious.
Yeah, where this seems
but
like
this time I think it's much different because most of the people that are here are much more, the generation is much, well, around our age, but much, I think a little bit younger than us, they're much more outspoken. They don't want to deal with the bull crap anymore. So they want to put their foot down and be like, hey, we ain't doing this. Nah.
Yeah.
So that's why it's much more now than it was years back.
I just think it's important about who's putting the foot down. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like some people put their foot down and it's like, all right, but what's your solution? You know what I mean? Like,
but that's the thing. You can't trust anyone. And that's why remember the Bronx Tale? We watched it and
good movie.
You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. It definitely relates to real life.
It has
every scene about real life. Yes. Remember when Sonny came to pick up Colosimo and he was like, oh, you don't trust me, huh? You don't trust no one, huh? You're like, well, you can't. He's like, you really can't trust anyone. He pretty much says it, like, you can't really trust anyone. And it's true, because, like, look at the NBA, look at the government, look how everyone, you want everyone to do the right thing and follow the rules and help one another. But you always had that one person who screws it up for everyone else. Well, then that trickles down to more people who want to do it. Oh, if he can do it, I can do it.
Right.
And you can't trust nobody.
Right.
That's why it's so hard. You know, me and you, we met people and we're like, hey, we can't trust this person, or this person doesn't genuinely care. So it's like, it's so hard now. So that's why it makes it very tricky for, like, everything you do. And when you get older, some of you are younger, you're going to realize that you could be the nicest person in the world and you're going to get effed over easily. Because just how the world is now. I think it's always been like this for years and years. Even our 10th grade grandparents dealt with this crap too.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just how the human people are. It's just everyone is pretty much out for themselves. You know?
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think we are though. And I don't think there's still be a lot of people in the mix that aren't that way, bro. And that's what, I don't know, meeting people like that and going through this life keeps me going too. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, bro? Because that's just what it is, bro. You gotta keep it flowing. You gotta keep the energies good, man. Because there's so much going on in the exterior. But this conversation keeps going on and on. But I do want to end up closing off. Is there anything that you could tell the people watching right now? Something that could help them keep them going in their own life?
You know, life isn't easy right now for all of us. Even for myself, this is, you know, a lot of times we don't want to be where we are right now, but it just gotta be grateful. Take it day by day. Look yourself in the mirror. Be like, hey, I'm here. I'm alive. I'm healthy. Let's change this. Into something better. And even if you do, you know, have some rough times, you know, if it's next week, tomorrow, or even right now, just know that you're here and you're trying your best. And later on, you're going to realize, I went through all that and I overcame so many stuff that it makes me even stronger. And also, if you have a kid or a daughter, they'll see this and it will help them, you know, not only now, but also in their future as well. And it will make everyone, you know, realize that, you know, as time gets tough, you just got to battle through it. Yeah.
It's a fact, man. Yeah. And do you have any questions for me?
You look like a mob guy over here.
You know what I'm saying?
Gabagool.
Gabagool. Nah, but do you have any questions for me?
how would you deal with someone's gambling? Like, say if I'm gambling right now, and I'm gambling hard, how would you take upon of yourself to try and stop me from gambling?
I mean, are you winning? No, it was a joke.
What if
It was a joke. Nah, seriously, if you had a gambling problem, honestly, for real, you want my honest, like...
I mean, I just told you the question, answer it.
I'm gonna call your mom.
Call my mother. What if she can't do nothing about it?
No, I'm talking shit. But nah, if you had a gambling problem, I would probably do something psychological to you. So I would probably like take all your clothes and then like FaceTime you from like a certain location and like pretty much like have like a tank of gas, you know what I'm saying? And then I'll be ready to pour it on your clothes, but I wouldn't do it yet. I'll be like, yo, bro, like...
What if I don't care?
Huh?
What if I don't care?
You're gonna have no clothes.
I'll buy some new ones.
With what money?
But what if I take out a loan? I have more money.
Nah, no
10
money.
grand, I can get
no
new
money.
clothes.
You're not gonna have no money. You're gonna be fucked.
That makes no sense.
Nah, you'll be like, I'm be like, yo, I'm trying here, bro. I'm not a fucking like gamble, like specialist, addictions specialist. I do a fucking podcast. And I make music. Yeah. But like, no, but I'm just saying, like, look, this
clothes, really clothes. Out of all things, you want to choose clothes.
No,
at least do something that I really like say, I don't know.
Your clothes is, I mean, yo, bro, like that's something that you need. You
I got some raggedy ass clothes. Burn it.
Your computer, your phone, whatever. I'll just fucking take that shit.
Alright, what if I don't really care? I'm like, no.
Bro, you're making this so fucking complicated.
Whatever.
Alright, no. Alright. If you don't really care and you're just still fucking up your shit, then man,
you gotta pull what I said.
What?
Go to the bank and pretend you're me and take all the money out. That's simple.
Yeah, but I can't. I don't look like Marc.
Why you say my government on YouTube?
Alright, I'll cut it out. I'll cut that part out. But I'll do a little beef or whatever.
Nah. You can. Well,
nah. But word.
Punch your nose to the left.
Alright, nah.
And then shake your head.
Tell the people where they can find you.
Find me on YouTube, IG, Big Pin, YouTube, Big Pin Fitness, and my sports page, Where They Now Sports, TikTok and YouTube, Where They Now Sports Pick. Yeah, you'll see it on the collaboration, so go follow it. Yeah.
So yeah.
Boom. So yeah. I can't trust no switching roadie. I be on my grown thing. Keep on moving, time be skipping, phone and going home. Same process, trust the progress. I be knowing where it's home. Man, free me, feel me, see me, I see. So yeah.